You're listening to the Evolved Men Podcast, episode number 12. A lot of men avoid vulnerability like the plague, as if being open means being weak, emotional, or out of control. But what if vulnerability isn't the thing that breaks you? What if it's the very thing that makes you unbreakable? I'm Corey Baum, founder of the Evolved Men Project and this podcast. I help men lead themselves boldly, build real confidence, and live with purpose. This show is about growth that actually means something, the kind that starts from the inside out. Every episode gives you the tools, stories, and strategies to evolve into the man that you were born to be, not by performing strength, but by living it. What's up, men? So today we're going to be talking about something most of us never got clear guidance on, right? And that's vulnerability. Is it a strength or a liability? Can opening up actually make you more powerful, or does it just leave you exposed? So that's what we're going to be getting into this episode. And I want to start with a story because this one hit hard. All right, for most of my life, it was like this running joke about me. It's that Corey's always a 5, right? Corey's never too high. He's never too low. He's not a 1. He's not a 10. He's just steady, right? Even fine, right? And for the longest time, I wore that like a badge of honor, right? I thought it made me grounded and relatable and reliable, even keel. You know, I was safe. But what I didn't realize was that living at a 5 all the time meant that I wasn't really living at all. I wasn't letting myself feel the highs or be seen in the lows. I wasn't sharing my truth. I was just managing my image. And eventually that caught up with me. Right? Towards the end of my marriage, I looked around and I realized that I didn't really know anyone, and no one really knew me. Not deeply, at least, right? And not honestly, right? I'd been so committed to keeping the peace, to being the nice guy, the steady one, right? The one who doesn't rock the boat, right? That I never said the hard things. I never asked for help. I never let people in. I thought avoiding vulnerability made me strong, right? But all it really did was make me alone. And that's what this episode is really about. What happens when we start to see vulnerability not as a liability, but as a doorway to connection and leadership and truth? So today we're diving into vulnerability, right? And asking a simple but confronting question. Does it help or does it hinder you? Because most men live in a tension with vulnerability, right? We crave connection, but we fear exposure. We want to be seen, but we're terrified of being judged if we actually are, right? And somewhere along the way, a lot of us learned that the best strategy was to just stay neutral, right? Don't get too high, don't get too low, just stay in the middle, right? Be chill, be fine, man. Just take it easy. But here's the cost. When you live your life at a 5 all the time, you miss the real moments, right? You lose the opportunity to be known. And over time, you begin to feel like a stranger in your own skin, right? Vulnerability has the power to connect, to heal, and to lead, but only when it's used with wisdom, right? So in this episode, we're going to unpack what vulnerability is, not necessarily what you think it is, right? Why so many men avoid it, and how to tell the difference between helpful and harmful vulnerability, and how to use it as a tool for leadership, intimacy, and self-respect. Because the truth is that your strength doesn't come from never being shaken. It comes from the courage to be seen. So let's start by getting clear on what vulnerability actually is, right? Vulnerability is is the willingness to let yourself be seen emotionally, honestly, imperfectly, right? It's saying, here I am, right? Even when there's a small risk of rejection or judgment or failure. But most men associate vulnerability with weakness because we're taught to not to cry, right? We're taught that we don't need anyone, to keep it together and to always have the answer. So along the way, right, we build these walls instead of bridges. We present this curated version of ourselves. We put on the armor, right? And we wonder why we feel connected or disconnected from everyone. Because vulnerability isn't a weakness. It's an emotional risk, right? And risk requires courage. So the truth is that it's easy to look strong, right? But it's an entirely different game to actually be honest and to be authentic and to be genuine about who it is and what you truly think and believe in, right? For a long time, I thought that being even was a virtue, being a 5, right? There was no drama, no big reactions. I was just steady, right? But what I eventually realized was that that I wasn't being grounded, right? That I was just being invisible. Because when you never let anyone see the highs or the lows, they can't actually connect with you, right? They can only connect with your performance. And over time, that 5 out of like 10 life, it just chipped away at my soul, right? And at your friendships, at your marriage, right? Your sense of identity. And so it shows up in a bunch of different ways, right? And you're saying like at times saying that you're fine, right? That's the typical thing. Like, hey man, how you doing? Oh, I'm fine, right? Even when deep down you're drowning, right? When you avoid conflict just to keep the peace, but as a result, you end up resentful, right? You try to stay composed, but underneath you feel numb or disconnected, right? People don't connect with your composure. They connect with your truth, right? It's in your ones and your tens that your real emotions, your honest stories, that people get to see you. And that's where the real intimacy and connection begins. All right, so let's talk about the nuances of vulnerability. Because vulnerability is powerful, right? But it's not always helpful, right? So vulnerability is helpful when it builds trust, when it deepens relationships, when it creates authentic leadership, right? It gives people permission to be real as well, right? Some of the times when it can hinder is when it's underground, right? Or it's impulsive, when it's behind the scenes, when there's no trust or container for it, when it becomes like a passive cry for validation, right? When it's used to overshare or avoid responsibility. And let's be honest, not everyone deserves access to your innermost thoughts and your world, right? Vulnerability without boundaries is just leakage, right? It's not actually leadership. Vulnerability is most powerful when it's chosen and not just spilled out, right? When it's owned, not like puking it out, right? Intentional vulnerability says, I know that this is real for me and I'm willing to share it, right? Because it serves connection or truth. Unfiltered vulnerability says, I need someone to fix me, right? Or I need someone to do this for me in order for me to be okay. Right? So how do you actually practice vulnerability in a way that strengthens and not weakens you? Right? So let's start here and just acknowledging your fear. And so even just practice, practicing it without vulnerability is key to actually is just naming it, right? Actually being able to say like, I'm afraid that if I say this, that you'll think less of me, right? And the key here is to start small, right? Don't open with your deepest, darkest traumas. Share something that's just real and present in the moment, something that's true for you, right? Something like, honestly, I've been feeling really overwhelmed this week, right? Something else is to actually own your experience without dumping it onto somebody else. So speak from a place of ownership, right? Not actually blaming the other person. So speak about like what's actually coming up for you, right? So saying something as simple as like, "Hey, I'm really feeling a lot of shame right now," right? Not because of you, right, but because of how it is that I see myself. And the next thing is to choose your audience wisely, right? Share with people who have earned the right to witness your truth. Right. And so the last one is to use your vulnerability to lead, not to collapse, right? Not to pull yourself into the shadows. When a man says that, hey, I'm struggling, I'm still showing up, that's leadership. Right. So the next time that you're tempted to say, like, you know what, I'm good. Yeah, doing fine. When you're not, I want you to pause. Right. What would leadership sound like right now? In truth, right? And then say that. So here are a few questions to sit with, right? And you don't need to rush through them. Just pick one that really hits home for you and give it some real space. Journal on it, do a voice note if that's your thing. Just reflect in silence, whatever it is that works for you. Right? So this is about honesty, not performance. So the first question is this: where in my life am I still trying to stay at a 5? And what am I afraid will happen if I let people see the real high or the real low? Question number 2 is, when was the last time that I felt truly vulnerable? What did I do in that moment? And what did it cost me or give me? So the third question is, what am I not saying because I don't want to rock the boat, right? And what's the cost of holding that in, right? What kind of an impact is that having on me as a result? Number 4 is, who in my life has earned the right to witness my truth? Because not everybody does. And am I showing up honestly with them? And the last question, number 5, is, what's one small way that I could practice grounded vulnerability without leaking, without oversharing, just telling the truth? So remember, you don't have to crack yourself open to practice vulnerability. Sometimes it's just as simple as saying, you know what, actually, I'm not doing great today. All right? Sometimes it's simply not pretending. Let one of these questions pull you into something deeper. So let's reframe the story that we've been told, right? Vulnerability is not weakness. It's the purest form of strength, honestly, because it takes zero courage to stay guarded, but it takes everything you've got to show up real. And here's the truth, right? You can't build deep, meaningful relationships with people who only know your mask. Right? You can't lead powerfully when you're afraid to be seen. And you can't love fully if you're still hiding half of your heart. So here's your identity shift. You're not here to pretend that you're untouchable. You're here to embody courage. The kind of courage that says, you know what, I can hold space for pain and still lead. I can tell the truth and stay grounded. I can be seen and still stand tall. So your challenge for this week is simple. Choose one moment where you would normally play it safe, and instead speak one layer deeper, right? Not to get something, right? Not to spill your guts, but to show up. Because every time that you tell the truth with grounded presence, you're not just being vulnerable, you're being powerful. So if this episode landed for you, if you're realizing just how much energy that you've been spending trying to hold it all together alone, then I want to invite you to to have a deeper conversation, right? This is the work that I do with men every day, helping them drop the mask, to lead with truth, and to build relationships that actually feel real. If you want support practicing grounded vulnerability, building emotional resilience, and leading from who you are, not who you think you're supposed to be, book a free discovery call with me at evolvemenproject.com. And there's no pitch, no pressure, just a real honest conversation about where you are and what's been getting in the way. And if this episode stirred something in you, send it to a man that you care about. As always, leave a 5-star review, follow the show. That's how this message spreads, one man at a time. So here's what I want you to remember from this episode, guys. Vulnerability doesn't make you fragile. It makes you human. And when it's grounded in truth, it becomes a superpower, not a liability. The men who evolve, who lead, who love and live with real impact aren't the ones who hide their struggles. They're the ones who own them, who bring their whole selves to the table, and who keep showing up even when it's uncomfortable. So whatever you're carrying right now, you don't have to carry it alone. And you don't have to pretend that you've got it all figured out. Start small, right? Speak one deeper truth this week. Let someone see you, and that's where the real strength lives. Thanks for listening to the Evolve Men podcast. Keep leading with your heart, and I'll see you next time.